In this part 3 of beginning Rhino with emphasis on creating a ring bend, let's talk about how we can combine the command ExtrudeCrv with the command BooleanUnion and BooleanDifference to create some different forms. So I have already created a circle that has a circumference of 51.87, which is a US set 6 circle that represents the inner ring bend. And I'm going to go ahead and offset this by, let's say, 2 millimeter. And I want to create some polyline segment. Let's say I want it to be, I want it to go straight right here and then come to a point. And then connect it to my quad point. Okay, I'm going to hit return. I want to extrude a continuous line segment like this along with my inner circle to create a general shape to begin with. And what I need to do now is to use split and use this line segment that I just created to be my cutting objects. Press return when you're done. And now you can see I have successfully split my circular or my curve into 2 pieces. So now I'm going to highlight this part that I do not need anymore and hit delete on your keypad. And now I can drag a window or select them individually, and let's join them together so that it's gonna be a closed curve instead of open curve. So you can either type in join or use this puzzle that we talked about earlier. And now we have successfully joined them into one closed curve. And now let's get started with the ExtrudeCrv command. So type in ExtrudeCrv, and we're gonna select both curve, because that's what we are going to be extruding together. I'm gonna uncheck both sides and let's do 4 millimeter. And this is a very simple ring shape that we're able to create just by using the ExtrudeCrv command. And now what we can do to alter the look of this form will be, let's create, let's say I want to create a different layer to be BooleanUnion or BooleanDifference on top of this form. I'm actually going to highlight this form because I don't need to see it right now, and just type in height for now. And I only need this outline to work with so that I can see the contour of the ring object that I just created. So let's say I'm going to just offset this by 1. And this time I'm going to extrude these 2 curves. Let's say for 2 millimeters. Okay, and now I'm ready to turn that object that we created before back on. So just type in show, SHOW, show. Oh, and I have one object that I created before. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Okay. And now I'm going to actually move my extension. You can use your gumball track, but if you want it to be directly sitting on top of your shape, what I usually do is, since they are nesting, this is completely nesting inside my extruded form. What I can do is I can type in move, and I want to move from this point on the very base or the bottom of my cylindrical ring bend shape to the top point of the inner circle or inner bend of my larger extruded shape. And once you single click, you should be able to move it. And now this simple extruded ring bend cylindrical shape is just sitting on top of my larger extruded shape. So if we look at the front and right view, this is what it looks like right now. And what we can do is we can go ahead and Boolean union them together, or something else that we can do is we can actually go ahead and copy and paste this larger extrusion, and we can actually move it. Let's select one of them and do move again. And this time we're going to want to move from a point on the bottom of the larger extrusion's inner ring bend all the way to the top point of the inner ring bend of the cylindrical plane ring bend shape that we created, so that I have this cylindrical ring bend sandwiched between my larger form. And this is some easy tweak that we can do to this kind of design just by using a combination of several extruded forms. And now we can actually Boolean union them together. And this is a closed polysurface, a closed object that we end up with just by using this command. And let me select this form. I'm gonna actually make it stand up. Hold Shift, let go, so that we can see a little better. And I'm gonna select these lines to hide it and change it to rendered. And if you were to 3D print this object, this is what it will look like. Just like this. And now let's go back to the ghosted view. Let me undo several things. I'm actually going to delete that. And we can actually think about some possibilities just by using these two forms. I'm going to make it sink into my larger geometrical extruded shape a little bit. And what we can do is we can do Boolean difference. We can actually subtract from this larger shape. Let me do delete input. And I want to subtract with this second shape that we extruded. And press return when you're done. And this way, let me go to rendered view again, just so we can see better. And let me select and hide these lines. And this way we can create some decorational element just by using ExtrudeCrv in combination with Boolean difference. And we can continue to alter the look of the other side of the ring, or we can even combine this process with the Boolean union process that we just did. Or if we refer back to part 2, we can alter the surface of this larger area by using array polar in combination with Boolean union and Boolean difference to further work with this object. And in the next part, we're going to talk about how to use the revolve command and how that's going to be helpful when we are creating a ring band.